King. Sir King. Sir King.
Canvas.
Sir King. Sir King.
Canvas.
Sir King. Sir King.
Okay, what's going on, everybody? How y'all doing? I hope you guys are doing well. Give me 1 second. Hold on. I want to see if I can do something real quick. Ooh, okay. All right, I'll do it that later. All right. So, hello, everybody. How y'all doing? What's up, Nessa? A B C D E F G. How y'all doing? Thank y'all for being here. What's up, Philly T? How you doing? Thank you for being here. I hope you have had a wonderful weekend. Yeah. See, I can't say something about Philly T, but Philly T out there living her best life with one of the most famous YouTube characters. I guess you say famous or infamous. That's all I'm gonna say, Philly T. All right, what's up, Detached Myself? How you doing? Thank you for being here, Detached Myself. Tanya Jones, what's going on? How you doing? The Christian gentleman is in the house, being Christian. What's up? How you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Hope you had a pleasant weekend. The Christian gentleman, I know that's urban. What's up, Cheryl, the Sporter Burnett? Did you see Luca? Luca Doncic got paid what, 156 million for 3 years, and why he lost all that weight. They say you lose all the weight and stop looking like a fat boy, and we'll pay you. Now Luca all looking all skinny, but he walking like an old man. He still where he gets that old man walk from, all hunched over. I don't know, but anyway, he getting paid 156 million. But I don't think he gonna end his career in LA. Sure, I think he wants to be in a place where I just think like there's more of a smaller market. Like I don't know, man. I can see him. He was in Chicago, I think, this past weekend, and they were leveling on him there. But I don't know. It'll be interesting to see where he ends his career. But he got a long time before that. What's up, Michi Black? How you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for being here. I appreciate y'all being here. Please thumbs up the live. It'll be tremendously appreciated if y'all do. Where do we start? So let's start. Let's bring up the agenda. Yes, I got an agenda, y'all. I had an agenda. That's the agenda. So we're gonna do economy, shake my head, chat GPT, privacy. I met a Jay Wilson child. Oh Lord have mercy. Wait till I get to that story. And to get in, once we get to the news, you absolutely cannot use. Rico used. KRN hold the applause. Brian pull up. Lemon welfare check and Jay Wilson shake my head. All right. So let's get into it real quick, y'all. Talk about the economy. Last Friday, if you were paying attention to the stock market, y'all saw that the market pretty much sold off because Jerome Powell was pretty much saying, "Look, oh no. The jobs report came out. That's what really made the market tank because they did a revision. The month before, whatever they had the previous job report, it went to like they said 140,000 jobs have been added or something like that. Don't quote me. Then they did a revision to that jobs report and took away 100,000 jobs. So that means only the economy grew or added with 40,000 in the whole United States. So that shows what that there aren't that many jobs out there and that the economy is not growing. Child, it's sold off. So now the pressure is on Jerome Powell to cut the interest rate, right? Right? Because that's the two things the Fed bases there, whether or not they're going to cut the interest rate on what if inflation is tamed and what if people losing their damn jobs and the employment rate goes up. But this is the thing though. Inflation is creeping back up because of why? Trump's tariffs. Trump's tariffs are causing the price of goods to go up. So that's called inflation. So therefore he can't really cut it. And then they're not ready to cut it. So we shall see, but it's a bad sign that you know, not many jobs are being added and people are losing their jobs from what I see. So that's crazy. So be on the lookout for that. So that made the market sell off. We will see this week if the market continues to sell off. I think it will because that was a shocker. That was unexpected. And then Trump gonna fire the bureau, the head lady of something. I don't know. Bureau management, labor management. I don't know. But because he was not happy that there was a decline in the jobs added to the economy. But we're gonna get more of this because now Trump has put these tariffs in effect. It's going to goods are going to get more expensive, right? So what happens? Like I told you, inflation will go up. So it's if Trump didn't have these tariffs, then I think everything would be cool. Everything will resolve itself. But it's an added cost to businesses, right? So companies are looking to get rid of people to deal with the tariffs. So it'll be interesting. So like I tell y'all, if I got a job, try to hold it as long as possible, child. And then on the other front, we got AI getting rid of people in these jobs, and they keep like shoving it down our throat that it's okay. Like when is it okay? Y'all know my whole. I always go on the tantrum, but to them, it's great because there's no health insurance. The workers don't call out sick, all that other stuff, But it's a robot taking people's jobs. Like it's insane how they think that's okay. I don't think that's okay. I think you may see a robot revolution. To be honest, y'all, I honestly do feel that. Like that Waymo, that Uber, what they call it? They just lived the robo taxi with Tesla. That's great in the beginning, but when these all these Uber people losing their jobs, like what? And then don't forget the people who work at Walmart and Target who pick up the stuff now, right? How easy will it be for them to just assign your groceries that you get for Target, place it in the truck in the car, and then take it to your home? That's cutting out all these people who dependent on that stuff. That's like, child, like crazy. It's insane. And then it don't to me, yeah, they saying now the people who are benefiting are those who know AI, but these like and all this other stuff. Mark Berg, I just read this. Well, I just passed on this article. This Mark Zuckerberg is about to pay this man $1 billion. They call him a super genius. Now I didn't understand. I don't know if they getting paid in a 10-year increments. I don't know how that's working with Meta, but yeah, they invest in wildly in AI, like crazy in AI, because that's where everything is going to go. Then from AI, it's going to be quantum computing and all that other stuff. But child, we don't know. I don't. I mean, I just put your faith in God. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, because I do feel something about to happen. Now that segues into my next situation: Chat GPT privacy. So if any of y'all out there putting your personal private information on Chat GPT, y'all might want to find a way to get that crap off of there because Chat GPT is found posting people's queries or whatever that they've searched online about them, whatever, involving themselves in Google. So y'all out there using Chat GPT to make resumes, to do your job. I know people who are using Chat GPT to draft emails, stuff, personal stuff, legal stuff, and that stuff is now being found on Google. So imagine if you sitting up there got a legal situation, you use Chat GPT, and now Chat GPT is sitting up there posting it on Google or allowing it. Because what it is feed the information you feed to it that's the way it learns. So if y'all, I'm gonna just tell y'all a tip real quick. If y'all using any of that AI stuff, don't be using your personal identifying information on there because it's sharing amongst many other large language models to learn and grow. And your personal private information is going to be on there. So I'm just telling you, just be careful. Like a lot of y'all, like I said, a lot of y'all, but yeah, a lot of y'all think y'all got this great new toy, but y'all don't know how the downside of that great new toy. They're using y'all information to advance what they're trying to do, but at the same time, you don't know where your information is being used at. What's up, your pleasure 721? I appreciate your help in keeping me abreast on what's going on. What's up, Themis? Oh, how you doing? Hi, SK. I'm here so I don't crash out right on time. God knows best. God knows best by what? Christian Gentleman said bingo. But thank you for joining us, Steve Massal. I hope you're doing well. I don't know why you crashing out for. Child, ain't that serious. Um, but your name is coming up on the streets. So I just wanted to share that with y'all. Please be careful of that stuff, and also people who are using that to write papers and stuff. Y'all be careful with that stuff, child. All right, so let's get into I Met a Jay Wilson. So y'all know right now it's AAU season, so I went to go see an AAU game, and it was a very tight game. But at the end of the game, one of the players shot the other player in the face. Child. And let me tell you, that gym went crazy. That gym went damn crazy. Like, what's because the the team in white, they will all test you out the whole game. The team in white, how can I say it? The team in white, I don't know how. The team in white, I guess, fouled the team in black or something like that, right? And then he fouled them a little bit too hard. Then the boy slapped the other player in the face, like gave him a little tap, gave him a little tap in the face. I was like, oh shit. It ain't funny, but it was crazy. That gym went crazy. Like, they went after the boy that slapped the other boy in the face. Did some other shit, went popped off. And so I was like, oh my God. Then I got into it with Jay Wilson, the coach, because this Negro looked like, what's his name? Y'all know Django? He looked like Thomas from Django. For real. Like, I was just like, I ain't never called nobody old. I told that man, you too old. So what he wanted to do after the boy slapped the guy or the other guy in the face in the game, he like, call the police. Call the police. And I said, why don't you shut your old ass? I said something about like, why don't you? I said, you too old to be sitting up here wanting to be called the police over some damn game. Then what gonna happen? The police show up, then things pop off more, and now these boys done ruin their future because now they got a record. He said, well, if a man hit another man, and I'm like, I just told him, I said, you sitting up here antagonizing, you should be over there getting your player that slapped the boy in the face. I was really like that shit. I was just thinking about Jay Wilson. Are we always so quick to get the police involved? But you don't know with these young men who are just starting out their lives, how the police might sit up there and handcuff them and take them to jail, and you up there, call the police. He was the only one in jail. Call the police with his old ass. I sure did call him. I said, you too old. Boy, he and I was getting into it. I don't like that shit. I don't like people who sit up there and want to invoke the law and every single solitary thing, don't know the indelible actions or the indelible mark that may leave. Now, there are some times when the law should be called, but in this situation, it wasn't nobody pulling out no gun, it wasn't no knife, it wasn't nobody throwing no damn chairs. It was just somebody got tapped in the face, and they were going to handle that, right? And they were going to handle it right there, and then that's it. But you gonna call the police. Then the police get called down to the school, and now it's just a whole. I just don't like that dude. Ugh, if I ever see that dude, he and I are gonna have a few words. I just don't like black people calling the police on other black people, aka motherfucking Jay Wilson. Can't stand that shit. The law is for the law. Okay, keep playing with the law. And then the law turn on your ass when they ask for your license. See, you got a suspended license. You don't even know what your cheap non-paying insurance ass. Anyway, moving right along. So that's what happened at the gym. Regarding me, the gym, I told you my situation with the gym. Like, my gym closed down, so I'm trying to find another gym. So that's been the hardest thing, but I think I got an idea. I'll share that with y'all later. So we'll see about that, because that goes into effect tomorrow. But I'm still staying in shape, though. I'm still staying in shape. But I gotta get ready for Miami. What's it, 2026 with Treasure Lane? I gotta sneak up on a damn cruise ship, incognito. So I gotta get in shape because somebody try to throw me overboard if they can find out who I am. But anyway, what's up, Vibrant Law Moderator of the Year? How you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for being here. All right, so we're gonna take a brief commercial break, y'all. Please, if y'all want to, feel free to send a gesture, $ Circle Crown, because what's her name, Annie or Angie from StreamYard is bothering me because the bill is due, and I'm like, no, it's not no $55. So if y'all want to send a gesture, please feel free to do so at $Circle Crown, because I know some people who made some money off of my stock tips. Well, I don't get no tips. I just give them a stock analysis. Oh, that's what I want to talk to y'all about. Y'all, it's another strong week of earnings coming up. Now, this week of earnings is very interesting because it involves a lot of AI players who have had a lot of money invested into them. Palantir's one of them was $16 the beginning of this year, and now it's up to $122 a share. Some people, ooh, Lord, if you got in on that, what's up, Asia? Asia from Brooklyn, how you doing? If you got in that, boy, you made some money on that. So it's a lot of good plays. I won't say plays, but it's a lot of good companies reporting this week, which will give you the understanding of where they're going in terms of AI. So pay attention to that. A lot of the big players have already reported, but I'm interested to see this week because a lot of new people. Well, I say new companies, but a lot of companies who are coming up on AI report this week. So this will be very interesting to see if they continue that momentum. But the thing is, with the tariffs and stuff, that kind of pulls uh, um, a lot of investment back. So those companies who, let's say, who got like AI stuff, I'm gonna say they're looking at it as risky, but those companies seem to like get the money whenever there's like a tariff situation or economic uncertainty. It seems like those suffer the most, because their evaluation to me is deemed on speculation. You know what I mean? So we shall see. We shall see. All right, we will go to a brief commercial break. We'll be right back to talk about the news that you absolutely cannot use. And listen, I'm gonna be transparent. I'm not gonna hold my tongue. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna say stuff that other people ain't saying because I'm not linked up in no clique. So I'm interested to see what y'all got to say about my commentary. All right, we'll be right back, y'all. Talk to y'all. Oh, we're gonna talk to y'all. We'll be right back. Ooh, child.
Your style, y'all.
All right, that's the one and only Miss Regina show, cars and trucks and all that. She got so many pages. Oh, what you writing down, Asia from Brooklyn? Oh, UNH, United Healthcare, child. They keep dropping and dropping and dropping and dropping and dropping. So anybody looking at, I'm gonna just throw out some things y'all should be looking at if y'all in the stock market. Told y'all Palantir reports this week. UNH keeps dropping. Tesla goes up and down. What's some other ones? Reddit is doing amazing because they're using the AI. Let's see what companies report this week. I got the thing here. All right, so we got Palantir tomorrow, reports tomorrow. Hims and Hers is an insurance company that is going to benefit from. They offer a cheaper alternative than the regular major big dollar insurance companies. That's why they benefiting a lot. Who else that I think I see? Novartis is interesting. That's one that I've heard a lot that may grow tremendously. Caterpillar, be careful of them because of the lack of growth in the economy. Oh, AMD reports on Tuesday. They coming up too. A super microcomputer. They was involved in some stuff, but they seem to have gotten their act together. Open Door. I seen a lot of talk about them. They deal with real estate, so you might want to look at that. Snap. Might want to look at that. Lucid, Rivian, those are EV companies, car companies. I don't know. Y'all proceed with caution with them. On Wednesday, Uber reports. That should be interesting with Uber. Um, Shopify, Disney, and Walt Disney and Six Flags. Now, Walt Disney and Six Flags is going to be interesting because they're going to tell you whether or not they're going to see cracks of the economy, right? They're going to tell you if they seeing less people coming to their amusement parks, and they're going to tell you whether or not people are stopping traveling. So, all right. So McDonald's also reports on Wednesday morning. Apple Oven, I'm hearing now that's a company that when tariff talk and economic uncertainty, you'll see a huge drop in their prices. I've seen that. Well, not prices, but the stock price. DraftKings, that's the betting site. It's interesting to see because when people money losing their job, are they going to anticipate that? And this is the thing y'all need to pay attention to with these earnings. A company can beat. A company can come in and beat whatever they was estimated to make per share, but it's the guidance that's key. The guidance is when they will tell you, "Oh, our guidance is we anticipate that we can continue to grow, or they don't grow." So you could beat. They can have a great quarter. No, Wall Street don't care about the past; they care about the future, right? That's what I had to learn the hard way. So they could beat, but it's about what they are anticipating happening in the future. So if they anticipate great, usually good. If they anticipate bad, then you'll see it drop. Soundhound on Thursday. Yeah, okay. Soundhound. Okay, Celsius. You know the the drink. They report on Thursday. D Wave is another company, y'all. Is another AI company. Vistra Energy is another one. A lot of these energy company nuclear plays. If y'all looking for stuff in the future, look at nuclear. Look at those kind of plays because these LLMs, large language models that Chat GPT and stuff are built on, they need energy. They need energy. They need energy. And nuclear is one of those sources that they're looking at right now. So Vistra Energy might be something y'all might want to look at. It'll give you an insight to what's going on and who they doing business with, such as a Microsoft and stuff like that, to help meet their energy supply. Okay. Block, y'all might want to look at Block. I don't know. Block just went public, not just went public, but it just got added to one of those exchanges or something like that. The NASDAQ, one of them. I don't know. That's why the price went up. Okay, and then Pinterest and Twilio. All right, and then on Friday, Wendy's reports on Friday. And I don't know. And Tempest is another one. That's another AI play they talk about, but I don't know. I don't know. I'm just telling you, y'all to look out for. Fubo TV reports on Friday too. So Monday should be very interesting. So with Palantir and Hims and Hers, because Hims and Hers has been killing it, and Nevitus is one I talked about that they say may be a good long term play. And Wayfair reports in the morning, but that should be good to tell you about what they see with people's purchases. Yep. Let's see. And then AMD on Tuesday and Supermicro. All right. All that stuff is available on yahoo.com and all them other places. Okay. So, all right. I try to do what I can. Asia, I try to stimulate. Because listen, y'all, this is the new era. Now, let me tell you something. I ain't been successful in making no money in the stock market, but it's about learning, I feel. And then you never know, you may stumble on a play, right? You may stumble on something because right now AI is kicking butt, and if you're involved in the AI play at the right time, you can make a lot of money. So it's good to be in the grass. You know, you may just wind up finding your pot of gold in the grass rather than being on the concrete and not getting a damn thing. Um, but it's also good to hear about where the world is going, what's going on, how they plotting and playing, and how they scheming, and you can always prepare yourself. You know, you never know. You know, you compare it with like ChatGPT. Everybody think this great tool, but do they not know that they're giving up their privacy? Do they not know that now your stuff that you thought was private is could be found in the Google search? So Asia says stocks is a long game in it for a long. Yeah, I totally agree for sure. You get your most benefit in the long term. But there's a lot of play. That Palantir play, oh my God, from $12 to $122. When Circle went live, went for 44. Now that bad boy up to 100. So it's some plays that are happening because of AI and people getting into it quick. Also, it's a lot of money being made. It's a lot of money being thrown into certain things, like by the big people, the hyperscalers, like Microsoft, Nvidia, um, who else? Apple. All those guys are just throwing money into stuff, and if you know, if you see stuff, then you may be able to benefit. And then they may see that things are not worth it, and then things just fall off the map. You have to be careful. So, what's up, Miss LA? How you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Hope you're doing well. All right, so let's get into the news that you absolutely cannot use. Let's be honest. Rico and his situation is unfortunate. Okay, it is, but that's been Rico's story since he's been on YouTube, right? But that whole situation with VS, I watched it. I watched the majority of it. I fell asleep on it. No, not that it was boring. It was just that I had a lot of shit to do that day, and I was tired. Okay. Um, I felt kind of as if Rico was being victimized in a way. He was being used because there were points in time in which you knew that VS was fishing for questions, for answers, or information for her own personal gain. Right? Right? There was some stuff like, what did y'all talk about in the car about the mama? Why did you file a police report on him? He filed on you. It was just some antagonistic stuff. I'm like, is this an interview, or is this to get you using Rico to get back at the crew? Pretty much. That's how I felt about the situation. Now, what I did not know, and many of us did not know about Johnny Mac. Johnny Mac visiting Rico and all that. Now that was a surprise. It don't make no difference here or there, but when you start connecting dots, like, oh, okay. Now you see maybe where the rapport with Sean Bradley comes from and all that other stuff. It just connected the dots um, to some situations and some affiliations and stuff like that. So, but I just don't. I just don't. I was glad that Rico's not a stupid person, and Rico is street smart for the most part. He just maybe talks a little bit too much, but he thinks that he's gonna tell you the truth. Rico's gonna tell you the truth. But I was glad that he was not able to get suckered into that situation. What? Wait a minute. Hold on. Oh hell no. What? Wait. For that was my mom. And then what? Hold on. Girl. Hold on. I'm getting some tea right now. Demon Soul, are you still in here? Demon Soul, you still in here? Hold on. I'm sorry, y'all. What? She probably left because I ain't giving her no attention like that she wanted. Demon Soul, you still in here? Child, hold on, y'all. Hold on, wait a damn minute. Sorry, y'all. I just checked my cash out because I was trying not to be like Lemon. Um, Wait a minute, yo. Is Demon Soul? Hold on. Demon Soul, you still in here? She probably left. Oh, baby, honey. Oh, Lord. Hold on, y'all. Oh, child. Okay. What you talking about? Oh, you did. I don't know. You very busy. Hold on. Wait a minute. Are you Demon Soul? DM me because I ain't communicated with you in years. But wait a minute. Hold on. Sorry, y'all. This is when I saw. Oh, child. Hold on. But what about you said something? Oh Lord, just DM me, Demon Soul. Child, what? But he didn't do. But oh my God. But he didn't do that though. He put something over the face for. I ain't listen. I ain't advocating for bad or for good. But oh Lord, child. Hold on. I'm sorry, y'all. I just. Child. Do you want to? Let me drop the link, and then if you want to hit the link, then you can hit the link. That will. Child, baby, honey. There's a lot going on these motherfucking YouTube streets, child. Woo, that's the link. If you want to hit the link, feel free to hit the link and tell us what you think. Hold on. Ooh, what the hell is this? Hold on, y'all. Somebody done sent me something else, child. Oh Lord, oh Lord, what is that, girl? No, this is something else. Oh hell, wait a minute. Somebody got criminal charges, y'all. No, oh Lord, I'm now the person. Oh Lord, break this. I'm texting this other person. Break this down for me. Sorry, y'all. For me, what is that? What is this? What is this? Y'all. Oh Lord. Ooh, the floodgates are open tonight. The floodgates are open tonight. Wait a minute. I got Themis old situation. Now somebody done sent me some other stuff about another situation. Somebody got a legal case. Child. I'm sorry. I'm not. Oh Lord. Mm. I told him, hold on. Break it down. Break it down for me. Okay, so that yes, break this down for me, child. Break this down. Did I do that on Lord, did I do that on accident? I don't know. Hold on. Oh, I didn't mean to put that on. Hold on. I didn't mean to. Oh Lord, child, I have to take the. Okay, oh Lord, hold on. Oh Lord, 1 second, child. I'm so sorry. This so rude to me. Child, I don't know. Okay, so hopefully they respond. Child, somebody got charges. I don't, What's up, Ruth DT? Oh Lord, Ruth D True Coach White. How you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for being Black Girls Code. What you doing with your black coding self? Girl, don't put no information in Chat GPT. It's telling it to the world based on what I'm seeing. It's putting their people stuff on Google. Um, okay, you woke me up with all them ad libs. I'm glad I was wake your ass up. Wake your ass up. It's a lot going on. Did they respond to me? Oh no, they after this. Somebody will send me a damn reel. I don't want to see no reel. I'm trying to see what the real going on with this information. Ooh, but somebody got some charges, child. Oh. Ooh, what, Ooh, Lord. Ooh, child. I don't be all up in people's business like this, but child, I'm trying to see what the charges are for. What the charges for? Oh Lord. See, that's why I can't stand Jay was like this shit made me mad. Like now somebody got a real case on them. I want to see what the charges are for though. Hold on. Hold on 1 second, y'all. But it don't say what the charges are for. What's the charges? What's the charges? Oh, hold on? What's that? Oh no, that ain't it. But what is the charges for? I don't know what the charges are for. Child, it's a. Oh wait, what's that? Oh no, that's the. Oh no, child, it's. Oh Lord, who that? Oh Lord, it's 20 names up in there. Oh Lord, child, could they respond? What are the charges for? Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I got it. Wow, y'all crazy. Y'all out here. Y'all out. How, that's sad. That is. Oh. Let's get back to the commentary. I found out what the charges for. That's sad. It's sad. Oh, sad. Okay. So I felt like Rico was used in that situation because I felt there was some fishing for information was going on. And, Rico is street smart to some degree where he knew not to answer certain things that could, exacerbate the situation. That's pretty much all I took for that. It was just sad to see that Rico was being used in that situation with all he was going through. So I don't know. That's sad. Okay. KRN hold the applause. So we go from the situation with KRN apologizing, saying he take responsibility and all this other stuff with the situation and all that. And it's just weird because people say, I didn't call the police. I didn't call it, but you called an entity that had close relations to the law. And that's where the tie come in. And then on top of you call again. And you got to understand, if you call that, incentivize other people to call. And I think it was more traumatizing to the fact that when you made that call, it was like, oh, the case is closed. And then you were doing an update. Like that was just, I don't know. It was just, I don't know. That, and now I'm here, he's come back and doubled down on what he did and stuff like that. And let me just say this part. I feel everybody's like, oh, KRN was the golden boy of the YouTube sector. I felt KRN had a lot of support behind him to push him into, I don't know, maybe getting in. Because at that time, when she came in, a lot of people were trying to be pushed in to the sector behind support of various people. But the whole KRN situation, a lot of people saying that KRN didn't get doxxed and all that. I do feel he got doxxed because I've seen a change. If you know all the people who got doxxed and violated in privacy and lost jobs, there's a change in them. There's a change where they want other people to experience what they went to. I call it the vampire syndrome. Because when a vampire bites somebody, then that person turns into a vampire. They want other people to turn into a vampire. And that's how I feel like when I see any of these people get violated to that degree, they just change. They come on here first is cool without any worries, and then they just return angry. And I saw that change in King Roman. And like I said, some people say, oh, he didn't get DOS. He did the No, I felt he got DOS. I just felt like he didn't know who did it. He did try to put that on ODS, but once he started figuring out with the people behind the scenes with Brianna and because Brianna name keep coming up a lot. Brianna name keep coming up a lot. So, you know, I just think maybe he don't know for sure 100% certain who. It may have been a damn collective effort. But, I just feel like he's still dealing with the loss and the ramifications of that invasion of privacy to this day. I mean, it's just like you have to decipher it. A lot of that and some of the commentary that he says, I still feel that he's dealing with what transpired from that invasion of privacy to this day. And I feel like that's why y'all see him turn into the nasty person that y'all do because of that. I honestly feel that. I honestly feel that, Um, but I just feel like, he did an about face after he issued a policy, but then started going at everybody from Kwani to whoever else. And I'm like, okay, interesting. But it's that's all I can really say about that. I don't know. I don't know. That's all I can say. Nikki Jackson says no one knew Roman until Rico started going to his celebrate news commentary. No one knew Roman until Rico started going to his celebrate news commentary. Yeah, I mean, can you restate that? Because I kind of trying to figure out what you said. Charlie, what you mean at that? Until Rico started celebrating his news commentary. I don't know. And then you gotta understand, like people keep saying that King Roman has certain people and things pushing him and propping him to do. And he may have certain people. I'm not mentioning their names. Y'all can decipher who that is, egging him on to do certain things or to be the mouthpiece of certain people. I don't know. Um, I don't know. I don't know. These people will sell you all kinds of dreams on here to get you to do what they want you to do. I can't say, but I just hope that I just this is my message to King Roman. King Roman, you never know if you ever want to run for political office or if you ever want to be part of a business entity where you would have to have a public face. And we don't think about what we say at that time, how it may come and affect us in the future. You don't know how, if you may want to start some kind of organization and need to lend on the investment of others, how they may research you out or vet you to see if where their dollars are going are a viable investment opportunity. So yes, you may be doing this for entertainment, but at the same time, don't fuck up your future by putting on this act that you got going on now or being pushed up to do certain things. Because as you progress in your life, people will look at what you've done in your past to see if you have tendencies. Everybody say, "Oh, I'm changed, man. I'm a change." It ain't about what you change. It's about if you had a tendency. Have you ever shown that kind of behavior? And once they see those things that you say of all people, they don't care what Rico did to you. They don't give a damn about a Rico. Okay, they just want to know, okay, does this person have the intellectual ability to know what to say and what not to say in the public space? Right? Can he be a liability for us in the millions of dollars that we invested in him? Does he have low emotional intelligence? Can he be triggered by a competitor to do certain things and broadcast it publicly? So those are things that you may not be looking at, but if you decide to run for public office or do a certain brand deal or become an entrepreneur that needs the investment of capital from other sources, your past may come back to haunt you. I'm just saying. So just look at it that way, and stop having these people put an Energizer dual cell battery in your back so they can get their 20 minutes of entertainment while that fucks up 20 years of your life. Or you will always, your political competitor will always flash up this clip of you saying stuff about certain people and certain things. So just words of advice because I know how these people do, and I know Ashon. Ooh, this is messy. Ask Sean Bradley why he left. King Roman, ask Sean Bradley why he left, and if he can't give you a straightforward answer of why he left and why he won't come back, definitely, then you got your answer. Because he said, "Oh, these motherfuckers are messing up my job." He weighed the pros and the cons, and he felt that the cons outweighed the pros, so he pulled back. So, all right, you said celebrity news commentary. Okay. The Christian gentleman says, "Good advice for King Roman, right on the money." Yeah, I mean, that's the thing about technology. They gonna and that this whole ChatGPT stuff and all that stuff. You gonna lose your privacy. You gonna lose your. There ain't gonna be no more. As soon as they type in your name, oh, that's what they did. You got a whole portfolio of what you done. Like it's crazy out here. It's crazy. Michi Black says, so if Rico and KRN ask for entertainment, all this is no, I don't think it's a play. Michi Black, I don't think this is a play at all. At all. But I think what's going on is it's having real life consequences, to be honest. But each other keeps ratcheting it up the level the level it can go. And now the audience is seeing that they can have a hand in the outcome of the situation because now they can call, now they can embellish and stuff like that. So I don't think it's a play, but I think if certain as a content creator, you have the ability to determine what happens. Like I feel if you see a content creator making a call, that may incite you to make a call, right? So if King Roman doesn't mention anything about a call, nobody's calling nobody, right? He be like, "Oh, Rico, I saw what you did with that dog. That's not cool." And then everybody, the thought of a call never comes into anybody's mind. But the words that we speak can lead to action, especially if you see the person making the action make the action. So, all right, Sir King, you seem to be stirring. How I'm stirring the pot? How am I stirring the pot? Tell me how I'm stirring the pot. Is King Roman in office? No, King Roman's not in office. Is King Roman a $1 million entrepreneur who is seeking seed money from some online or entrepreneur venture? No. But these may be things that he may intend to do in the future, right? King Roman can leave tomorrow. King Roman, he said no one, no, of course he's not gonna say no one put a battery back. Come on now. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. And you know that's bullshit. That no one put. See, a battery in the back don't mean go, 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 do it, do it, do it, go, 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 do it, do it, do it. I'm not talking like that. I'm talking about people. He said he listened to everybody and what they had to say. He know how his closest supporters feel. So that's the pressure of not letting them down, right? If he sees them in their chat and they're behind the scenes chatting, like, oh man, I wish King Roman would respond. Oh, I wish King Roman would really tell her how he feel. That's what I mean by putting a battery in somebody back. It could be an unintentional battery, right? It's not a direct connect, right? But it's a Wi-Fi battery. Then that's not. Oh, but see, that's vernacular, right? That's not a bad. That's well, what a battery means to me is totally different. What a battery means to you, then, right? It is a battery. That's what how you feel a battery is to you is totally different what it means to me, right? People will put all kind of batteries in people back. It's different ways, right? You could get a solid state battery. You get all kind of different forms of battery. People are very clever. Oh, let me go over here and post this on this wall, and then say that King Roman was weak in his reply and should never apologize. That's a battery. Oh, I feel King Roman was fake. That's a battery. Or you can put a battery, oh, King Roman did the right thing, but did he really mean it? That's a battery. Battery is just a term of how you how you decide to classify it. That's all. And I told you I'm gonna give my honest commentary. And that's how I felt. Like I felt like, okay, he did the right thing, saying he took responsibility, he should have ignored it. Okay. But did he honestly feel that way? Maybe not. Maybe not. I don't know. The Christian gentleman says your YouTube channel is tied to Google for background checks. If your real name is mentioned, it will pop up. Ooh, child. Yeah, and Palantir is all about a company. Is a company is all in that background check stuff for the government. So, whew, child. Long term potential might be them. I don't know, especially with this AI stuff, child. We're gonna have no privacy. We're gonna have to live in the sewers of Las Vegas to get away from Big Brother. But you give up something for what? I don't know. But all I would say is King Roman just like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Like I know he has his online stuff, but my question to him, why did he come over here? And I don't mean that disrespectfully. I don't like I just don't this is I don't know. King Roman is an enigma. Because why would you come over here And I don't know. That's difficult, man. Because you have to be a villain. Like I don't know. You what I mean is you have to beef over here. You have to get gutter. You have to say some maybe non. You have to say some controversial things. You're going to be pushed, or they're going to tear you down. And I just don't understand if he had a channel deal on entertainment. Why venture over here? Right? Because he doesn't really promote that channel on. I don't understand. I don't know. That's not for me to understand. But and then his outside interests clash with what this. I don't know. Anyway, only he can answer that. I don't know. Michi Black says Google said they're tired of negativity on these apps, but Michi Black, they can't have it both ways. This negativity is bringing in money for them. Trust and believe. So they could be as pure and non-controversial as they want. They're gonna, if they stop, they're gonna take a deep hit in the pockets. They know. They know. They know. They know what's going on. They know what's profitable, and they trust and believe. They look at the cost analysis or the inventory, revenue analysis. They know. They know what comes. Christian gentleman says, if you're a professional, be forewarned. Just ask the pastor before you decide. Sorry. So let's get into Briiine pull up. Okay. Um. So before you engage, so it's very interesting because first of all, this is okay. Hold on. Let me see what else I got on my banner. Okay, I did do have Jay Wilson. Hold on 1 second. I'll take this down. So the rest of so this is all gonna be tied in together, well, except for the limit welfare check. I don't watch limit. I heard they were the people over there doing or talking about doing a welfare check on him. What's up, misunderstood? How you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for being here. I don't know what's going on. But I was like, they just now decided to do a welfare check. So I was putting out there to see interesting what's going on over there, but I don't know. All right, now let's tie all this whole Briiine pull up Jay Wilson shake my head situation together. So as I wrote on my community wall a couple of days, it's kind of crazy because Jay Wilson, it's kind of I gotta choose my words carefully. Jay Wilson is using these people, and you're gonna say, Sir King, how he's using people? These people hit the link. What's up, Dr. Soapy? How you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Um, yeah, I'm gonna get into that. Misunderstood right now. So you gonna say, well, Sir King, how did these people come over here? It's like crack. Okay, the people who use crack got to go to the drug house, right, or whatever they go, right? You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, more cases, the people that run the drug den don't go to their clientele. The clientele comes to them, and that's what Jay Wilson is. These people need to get a fix of attention, and they go to Jay Wilson because that's what they're going to get. But in turn, Jay Wilson uses these people, exploits these people, and let's just say Jay Wilson ain't a Rico, so you can't excuse what he don't know what he doing. He ain't got no advanced degree. You can't say all that. Jay Wilson knows is well versed in what he's doing, and what he's doing is it's not like he's giving them a platform to just battle it out. He's sitting up there dogging out the people that come on his platform, cursing, okay, talking about hoe, bitch, hoe, hoe, ho, you ho. First of all, wait a minute. What happened to the new format? What happened to I'm scared if my employer finds this out while I'm doing the interview? Like what? Like what it's just don't it didn't with the way he cursed. I told you he cursed like a toddler. Even the stuff he used, he don't even make it flow right. You know what I'm saying? But he uses so ho, it's good ho. So I guess some people have been writing him like, yo, you need to chill out with that word. So he said, oh, I'm gonna try to cut that down on that. But anyway, going back to the people that come on, it seems like they don't get the views that they get while they on Jay Wilson. So when they go on their live, ain't nobody really watching them. So they miss the attention. So then they go over there. Obviously, they the main brunt of the joke and all that other stuff. But Jay Wilson say some most disrespectful stuff to them, right? And what's the stuff about all this defecation? That is weird to me. Like, once again, us as content holders, like I saw ODS. ODS said, we are not talking about no doo-doo. We ain't not talking about no feces. We are not talking about none of that over here, right? So I bring ODS into the situation because we as content creators, we can decide on what we want to talk about and what we don't. And he put a kibosh to that. He said, we are not talking about that. And that was it. It wasn't no more talking about that. But Jay Wilson keeps going on. I'm like, dog, do you have a feces fetish? That's just weird to hear a grown man talk about doo doo. Ooh, look at the rag. Look at the rag. His first and only short was that doo doo rag. What? Like, that's weird to me. Like, it's like, are y'all doing that behind? Is that a turn on? Now, mind you, I told my people in the background, I said, remember when Jay Wilson had that lover who got turned on by farting? The only way the guy can really come is if he got if there was some form of flagellance. And guess what Jay Wilson did? He farted. So the guy could, I was like, oh, right, Dr. Sober, early in the morning. That was early. I'm like, what, this is how we starting the day? This is how okay, we go from prayer cross to doodoo cross. Damn, like really, you're really taking a decline if you go from prayer cross to doodoo cross. Like, my golly. But yeah, real early. He didn't even wait till his lunch break to get on there. And then to Thibodeau, this is to you. Don't sit up here and tell me that man don't eat no fast food. He start out eating a damn McGriddle, then find his way over to Chipotle. Like, like anyway, Lord have mercy. It's just nasty. But let me go back to what I was saying. He talks to those people who come on his broadcast so disrespectful. He called them blubber and all this stuff. He disrespected Briiine. He kept dropping his link. He said, "Oh, I know Mississippi watches me. I know Mississippi." And he kept dropping his email. He kept dropping his email so Mississippi could get it. That's so damn disrespectful. Then on the next live, he said, "Yeah, that's why I kept dropping my email because I know Mississippi watches me." And I'm like, wow. Wow, you really trying to get up in that man relationship like that? Like that's what I'm saying. Something dangerous gonna go down there on Jay Wilson channel. Like, for real, whether it be Tommy, because Tommy, Jay Wilson was trying to promote Tommy or Castro to go to police on each other. To go to, and I'm like, bro, what is up with you with the police, man? That's not cool. And I respect law enforcement. And he keeps talking about, oh, if anybody comes over here, I live with 7 police. But this is the thing: the police got to get there first. Y'all, the police got to get there first. And I'm not saying that as an inflammatory situation. I'm just saying it as someone who keeps playing with the cops and keeps thinking that, oh, I can keep doing what I want to do because of the police. But the police got to get there first. The police not always on the side of the victim, especially when the victim is being antagonistic towards those who are set up there and who committed the crime. Like, cops put 2 and 2 together real quick. They're like, damn, well, you put this shit on yourself, right? So let's get to the pull up part. So I was listening. I went over to Briiine Live, right? What's up, Miss Marshall? How you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Now, I went to Briiine Live. I just want to hear, because you're gonna get 2 different sides of the bear over there. Briiine gonna behave like he supposed to behave over there on Jay Wilson's. But the other side of the bear over there is what you need to look at, because Briiine was highly upset that Jay Wilson something called him blubber, right? And he said, "Ooh, I want to pull up in San Antonio and see if he talked that shit to my face." I was like, "What?" I was like, "Oh, hell no." Yes, he did. He said, "I want to pull up in San Antonio and see if he said that to my face." I was like, wow. Wow. So I'm like, Jay Wilson, you need to be very careful how you deal with Brian because he ain't he not too sane and he's very sensitive. And what you may say may cause him to drive a couple hours to come pay you a visit. I'm just saying because we all know he not playing with a full deck. He not playing with a full deck. And I feel Jay Wilson is playing with these people for the coin. And it's just not going to end well. It's just not. I don't think it's going to end well. I think there needs to be a major revamp in his use of these people. That's how I feel. I honestly feel like Tommy ain't all there either. So, so that's what I got to say about that situation. Like I just think like Jay Wilson, even him, like if Jay Wilson wanted to sit up there and say he's 55 years old, he may sit up here and have a turn of heart where he might want to start his own ministry. May he where he want to sit up there and run for office, or he may want to sit up there and who knows, run for a commissioner seat in San Antonio because the things may have gotten so bad. But he can't really do that, right? Because they're gonna clip everything he put on YouTube. Bitch, hoe, right? It's just like I don't know. mm It's just weird to me. It's just really weird to me. So that's all I really got to say. I'm gonna drop my link in case anybody wants to come up here and share their sentiments about what I've expressed today. For my stock people coming in late, like I said, this is interesting. I want y'all to pay attention to this company named Palantir. It's very interesting. That company is very interesting because they have been awarded a lot of government contracts to do spy on people, pretty much do a lot of intelligence work. So, and they've taken off astronomically. So it'll be interesting to see how they do in earnings. The earnings is tomorrow. They say that to really the company's overvalued in their valuation, but you never know. I just read before I came in. Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you to the person that replied to my DM. That but who knows what billions of dollars that they're contracts that they're signing, because of AI. So we'll see. All right. Anything else, Sean? Anybody got any other questions? I feel like I've covered a great plethora of topics. So, anything else? Well, the president. Excuse me. We're talking about a black man. Okay, I'm talking about a black man, and we're talking about one who. Uh, that kills me. Y'all want, but we got it 10 times, 30 times harder than Rump. Okay, Rump comes from how can I say it? Entitlement background. Not us. Not us when you coming from a basic background that doesn't give you I mean, political opponents, you know. Right. Why okay, so nobleman, why is Rump sitting around here freaking out about the Epstein files? Okay. Okay, all right. I'm just saying, thank you, detached. Oh, we got a guest coming to the stage. What's up, big homie Urban? How you doing?
Pastor King.
Oh, there ain't no Pastor King today.
What is going on? King of late night.
I don't know if that's a blessing or a curse around here.
Shout out to the nation, everybody out there in the Avatar Nation. Good broadcast, man. Very interesting topics. If you remember, I talked about the labor statistics being a political position.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Miss, I think her name's pronounced Akentarfer, being fired, was predictable.
Mm-hmm.
The president's definitely going to send those signals out that you need to support me and whatever my political agenda is. And for whatever reason, she decided not to do that. The numbers changed.
Yeah, but how could that be? I mean, those numbers are based on those numbers. You get what I'm saying? So what? He wanted her to fabricate numbers?
Bingo.
Oh, come on.
Remember, I told you it's not. If you see labor statistics numbers, you can't I think the public is so used to the American public is so used to just accepting what the media feeds them, right? You just accept it. But that's not the case. And those numbers are that's a very political position, right? And the president, if you she's the commissioner, right? So what that means is she serves at the leisure of the president. What that means is at the leisure of the president means I can fire you, whenever I get ready for no specific reason. Goodbye. And that's what he did because she decided not to follow his political agenda. That position makes a pretty good amount of money, well over 100K. She probably has very good investments, and she decided she would just take that risk. But it's all politics when you get to those levels. It's all politics. So
Yeah, but then she would be the fall guy once they go back and say, "Hey, those numbers weren't correct, though."
right, yeah,
You
she
know?
decided. She decided. She already knew.
Hmm.
Trust me, Sir King. When she changed those numbers, right, because she had to go back and do some revisions.
Hmm.
She already knew when she made those revisions that she was gone. Now, you remember I predicted that Trump's old party would turn against him. That's happened, right? With the whole
Epstein.
Epstein scandal.
Hmm.
I also talked about predicting that YouTube would change their AI policy. I talked about
Hmm.
months ago. I said that YouTube's going to have to change their AI. YouTube, and just a few days before they changed it, I dropped in and said the same thing. YouTube's going to have to change this policy. Bingo, YouTube changed it. So that's a political position. She already knew that he was going to get rid of her. She decided to just fall on her sword. The Trump's going to fire Jerome.
You think so? That's what I was going to ask you next. You think he's going to fire him?
He's gone. Sir King, he's fired. So
But
go back.
dude, okay, so let's break down a timeline. All right, so the report came out Friday, right?
Yep.
So how you think this is going to play out though? Because they're saying, and I ask you this way, they say once because that shows that the Fed is not sovereign, and they said that is the only thing that makes us the great financial power because our financial system, you can say, is independent,
Mm-hmm.
right? So how do you think that? And then on top of that, third thing is that they said, well, if that happens, our markets are going to tank.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you think he gonna do that then to make it? Because the worst thing he wants to do is to have the bonds sell off and the financial market to tank. That's a bruise to his ego. So how do you think he gonna do it where his ego can stay intact?
I think he's very impulsive, but his priority is being in control. You got to look at who he surrounded himself with in his cabinet, the people that he selected. For him right now, everything is about image. Remember, I've said this a zillion times about his background being in entertainment, right? His
Hmm.
show was very popular. And so he's very that is something that's in the forefront of his mind. It hasn't changed because he's in office. What he's done the most of his career, sell real estate and work in entertainment. So this is in the forefront of his mind. He's not a politician, not even close. So he's concerned about, you know, his image and having people around him. What he's discovered this next time around is forget about the political insiders. I don't need any political insiders. I need people that are loyal to me. If you look at the cabinet that he's established, it's people around him that he knows are fanatics about him. So uh, his perspective, is protecting his image. Um,
Yeah, but
go ahead, go ahead.
but Urban, how because firing Jerome Powell will cause the markets to tank, right?
It will. Yeah, I agree with that. I
Right.
think that is true.
So
Temporarily, temporarily.
right, because then he's going to come in. This I feel how the only way to save the day is then to come in and cut the interest rate. That's it.
You're right. He's gonna put his. So what happens at the leisure of the president? He puts his people in place, right? So you get rid of the old person who wasn't following the program, and let's just say this is me and you, and I say, "Hey, Sir King, all right, you're the new you're the new director. You're the new commissioner. Here's what I need you to do." And I'm going to select you because I already know that you're a fanatic of mine. I'm going to say, "Hey, Sir King, here's what we need to do," and you're going to follow suit and put things in place so that I look good. And what everything around him is about, how can I make myself look good, right? I- And so that's the direction that he's headed. So I wasn't surprised when she was fired. I told you this a long time ago, that that's a very political position. I told you that I knew someone that worked there and talked about how they were forced to skew numbers. It's a very
Mhm.
political position. So I'm not
They,
surprised about
they
that.
skewed it last quarter. I mean, the last time it came out, I was
Yeah,
surprised. I was like, wow, okay.
you can't trust those numbers. You really can't. Any investor will tell you that. Anyone who has a background in federal government, that's worked in any kind of federal position, a senior level federal position, will tell you that that's a very political position. So this was a warning. This was a warning for Jerome. Pretty much, this was a swift kick to Jerome's behind, that you're next.
Mm.
You got to follow my program. So if Jerome doesn't change, which he's been following his own, trying to keep independent. That particular position is supposed to be independent of politics. Uh, yeah, but
I
that's a signal to him that he's gone.
don't think he's going to change. I think his legacy is so key to him that I don't think he gonna change. I think he'd rather get fired and know that he did the right thing rather than to bow and now have to deal with the risk of inflation and stuff skyrocketing and stuff like that.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think that he's not going to bend. He hasn't been so far. He's going to have pressure. Like pressure is going to come from all different angles. They're going
Uh,
to tell. He doesn't. He already knows this. But when the pressure starts coming from different political angles and saying, "Hey, man, you're about to be ghost. You need to, you need to switch it up."
do you think the pressure comes from personal too, like intimidation of family and stuff like that, or no?
This Some of that is there for sure. I mean, when you hold a senior level federal position, right? You got family to take care of, right? You have peers of yours that have kind of followed your career. So of course, his family's going to say, "Hey, are you sure what you're doing here?" Just like with Trump with his wife, and his family. There's definitely influence there, but um, if you look at how, just for example, when you saw the press conference and he was checking Trump,
Yeah, yeah,
okay, that's a major red flag there.
yeah.
In Trump's jargon, you're fired.
hmm hmm
If he doesn't switch it up, which
Yeah.
I don't think he will, he's toast.
Okay, so but this is the thing though, like it just doesn't make any sense because you cut the rate, inflation goes up,
Mm-hmm.
and you're going to have to raise the rate again. So you if you fire Jerome, you done indelibly messed up the United States reputation in terms of its financial sovereignty, and that's hard to get back. And then on top of that, you're going to now have to
It's hard.
raise the rates again to
It's hard.
control
So when it comes to reputation, it's hard to get back from foreign leaders, or hard to get back from the American public.
global from a global economy. They said the reason why people buy our bonds
Mm-hmm.
is because of that financial sovereignty when it deals with the Fed. So
Mm-hmm.
lack of government interference or like we'll do the right thing, right? They said once that is skewed, then what separates us from any other country, that has government interference in its Federal Reserve or in its reserve. So that's what they were saying. Um, so mm,
Yeah, his concern is more. Trump's concern is when you look at, when CNN or any other media outlet says, what's the president's favorability right now? That's his concern. because of his entertainment background. So he's looking to keep his base, right?
Well,
So
that's not going to happen. He's trying to curb and cut these interest rates before the tariff effect comes into effect. Before we
yeah,
really see the effect of inflation. So,
right. He's trying to orchestrate things, along with his cabinet. He's trying to orchestrate things to the ultimate outcome is to make him look good and to make his decisions look like best decision moving forward. And so he's going to move things around like a card deck,
mhm.
make him look good. And his impact, the stock market, when the president, if you ever notice how the stock market moves around when the president makes an
Mhm.
executive order or makes a decision, you ever notice how it bounces around?
Yeah.
That's how it works. So,
We shall see. We shall see. You think we're going to get an emergency rate cut? Because they're saying the next Fed meeting is in September. I don't think we're going to last that long.
yeah,
I think
it's
they
a
might.
good call. Yeah, I think that emergency rate cut's not going to happen with Jerome. Jerome, he's gone. It's a wrap for him. He's sticking to his guns. Trump's going to install somebody.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, that's going to be crazy. That day will be crazy. The market's going to sell off. So that replacement is going to have to happen within, how would you say, 24 to 48 hours? And then you have to come back and immediately announce a rate cut, or the market
Uh-huh.
is going to keep selling off.
Yeah, it doesn't make. Don't think about economic sense. So don't think from that perspective of what makes economic sense, right? Just think about that. He's trying to preserve a legacy. He's trying to look good. It's all about smoke and mirrors and making him look the best. And when he has people in place that will do what he requests, right, that's what he's concerned about. This is
Yeah,
what I want you to do. I want you to do it, irregardless of
but
everything.
Urban, you could do all that. Like Urban, I could dress you up in a 30-piece suit, give you the best background, dancers, the best stage. But if you can't perform or things don't go right, it's still gonna look terrible. And that's what I think. Like, he can't control how things are going to respond and react, right? And they're already telling him, what are you doing? They already said his his big better bill plan, terrible. Tariffs, terrible, because they're gonna raise the cost. Now I don't know. Maybe he's trying to sit up here and issue in a new financial system, and this is the way to do it. I don't know.
Well, yeah, we know we're already. We have to look at the decisions that he's made thus far and think about the fact that he has an entire cabinet and consultants and advisors. But considering all of that, even though he's got himself surrounded by people that are loyalists, he's not the traditional president that when you're sitting around in a round table and you have different agencies, different commissioners, different department heads saying, "Here, this is what I recommend." He's not the traditional president that's like, "Okay, we're going to go with that." His way is, I don't agree with that. I'm going to do what I want to do. So you
Right.
see a lot of this back and forth. That's why you see the constant back and forth with the tariffs.
Hmm.
He'll be advised one thing, and then he'll just do what he wants to do. And then when the results don't turn out how he wanted, he'll try to renegotiate. And that's why you see these kind of things going on. Everything's a popularity contest for him. He's not going to listen to an advisor because he feels like I know best. And if you don't agree with me, you're fired. And the interesting thing about it is he didn't try to cover it up. He just said, hey, I fired it because the numbers were skewed. Those numbers are always, yeah,
Sorry, that's just crazy to me that he did that.
yeah. He's not, Trump's not he's not a politician. So,
So sad. So sad. So let me ask you this: so in 4 years, are we going to be sitting with a SMH all over our face?
say it again.
So in 4 years, are we going to be sitting with a SMH over our face? Shake my head, you
Oh,
know? Yeah, or shake.
yeah, yeah. I think that not like I said, I predicted this, at at the top of the year when I popped in on you, and I think it was January. I said, several things. I said Trump's own party's going to turn. At that point, Trump's party hadn't turned against him, so that was going to happen. Um, a lot of people voted him in, and you notice that he's gone against
Mm,
the people that voted him in, and I predicted that this was going to happen. So yeah, there's definitely a domino effect that's happening. He's going to do his best to try to put his finger in the holes in the dam and try to resolve these issues. But this is what happens when you got someone that's not. So what happened in his first term was he had all these Washington insiders. And so his perspective this time is, I don't need Washington insiders. I need people that are going to be loyal to me. So, and this is where he's at now. He's like, I want to leave this term with people that love me, people that are loyal to me. And no matter what mistake I make, they'll say, that's not a mistake. We're just going to say that everything you do is golden.
but I gotta interrupt you for a second. There's somebody coming to my live saying that I called the popo to Lemon's house. Don Play. Don Play, please go back over there and tell them I don't even know where the fuck Lemon lives. So how the fuck can I sit over there and call? I'm just telling you what the rumor was. The rumor was that his people are over there calling a welfare check on him. Okay? I don't know where the hell where he lives. Like, I don't
Is that
care that much. I don't even watch him.
is that happened? Is that something that happened?
I heard that they're trying to call do a welfare check on him. I heard that. So
Well, I mean, from what I've seen, right?
mm-hmm.
I get links. I've been getting links sent to me ever since the pandemic. They haven't stopped. People still reach out to me, send me links and stuff. And that's my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I have a chance to go through them. And usually before I pop on your show, I've got to go through the messages that I haven't looked at and stuff. But I mean, if you look at his channel, from what I've seen, just based on my experience since the pandemic, there's a lot of. It doesn't look like, or sound like, or even feel like the B sector.
No, we
And
don't.
and what I've seen is that there's a lot of people around him. Clout is the new currency. And it's amazing how clout works. If you associate yourself with Lemon, you get
Mm-hmm.
monetized, right? If you look at the people like Lolo, look at her numbers, where they
Oh
were
no.
prior to Lemon. Look
Oh,
at what's her name, the Krista girl. Look at the numbers. Look how their numbers have. So clout is in the virtual world. This is a real currency. And so when you see all these people attaching themselves to him, that had a couple hundred subscribers, and after him, they've got 4,000, 3,000 subscribers or whatever. This is you seeing in reality how clout is actually a currency.
mm,
So he's got a lot of people around. In other words, what I'm saying is all these people are around him not because they care about him,
oh
not because
no.
they want to have his best interest at hand, right? Like when he was over here, people that are surrounding him are chasing clout currency.
Oh, for sure.
And then you have people that just will get a high out of seeing his downfall, right?
Uh-huh.
The trolls that that they're waiting, lying in wait to see his downfall.
Yeah.
So a lot of
Yeah.
people around him don't could care less. It's about, can I get my channel up and my numbers up and my subscribers up and I get monetization. That's the majority of people that are in his inner circle. From what I've seen, this is the majority of people in his inner circle are vultures.
Oh, for sure. I definitely agree with that. I definitely agree with that. They're probably getting more attention than they ever got in their life, good or bad.
Well, yeah, he's built multiple channels. I'm not going to go through put their names on blast, but he's built a bunch of channels for people that channels hadn't had views in decades, in a
Yeah.
long time.
No,
Uh,
I agree.
he's built a channel. Clout is an actual virtual currency. It's
Mhm.
interesting how that works, right? If someone just sits up on your panel 10 hours a day, 8 hours a day, that you'll gain subscribers, you'll gain clout because of the association. That's the era that we live in right now.
No, I agree.
You were talking about the King Roman situation. I listened to a little bit of his live after this whole Rico situation. I listened to 2 minutes of it. And in the very beginning, he was talking about being a consultant and bidding on contracts, and I just turned it off. Because if you're doing that, you are in the wrong sector.
Yeah, I don't understand it.
Yeah, you need to be far and away from the B sector, and you definitely should not be putting that out there to the public that I'm a consultant, I'm bidding on contracts, because once your information is out there, this is just the way the B sector works. It's going to destroy all that. And even if they don't intentionally try to destroy all that, the moment you're Google, that's going to your conversations, the words that you've used, how you've cursed people out, your vernacular, the area that you're affiliated with. Let's just say you're Lockheed Martin and his company is bidding on a major contract, right? And these days, there's always a social media investigation these days. So they run a social media investigation on you, and all of a sudden, it's going to pop up. The B sector is going to pop up. Absolutely no way around that. It's going to pop up. And you hear BICCH and hold this and hold that, and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. Do you think that someone whom you're bidding a contract on, what do you think they're going to respond? What do you think the response is going to be to that?
No. I'll come bid again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. They're not going to tell you why. They're just going to say, yeah, declined.
Yeah.
So you shouldn't be discussing that, number one. And I think people don't understand how all of this stuff is interconnected, right? So you end up getting in what I call the B sector trap, right? Where you're forced to do content in the B sector for a career. That's pretty much all you can do. You can't get money from the B sector, then you're trapped. Because if you're Googled, that information pops up and no one is going to hire you based on just looking at it, because they're going to click on this link and click on that link and look at this channel, look at that channel. I'm like, what the heck? This person is bidding on a contract. This is a consultant that's, you're done. So that channel, I said the same thing about, what's the girl over there that's part of his crew that's kind of new? What's her name?
K-Fit.
Yeah, I said this about her before her whole situation went haywire. But if you're a professional, and I know a lot of people don't know me, and they don't hear the things that I'm saying, but I've predicted so much stuff with the B sector going all the way back to the very beginning and talking about the outsiders coming in, and YouTube changing the regulations and the whole cyberbullying. Like I've talked about all this stuff the whole way. If anybody was following anything that I've been saying, they would have been good. But I think people don't realize how interconnected all this stuff is, and that it's going to impact your future. So yeah, if you're a professional and you're bidding on contracts, you don't need to be discussing that on YouTube. And then you don't need to be involved in any kind of chaos where you're cursing someone out or using foul language, or like your page needs to be private. If you want to talk about the news in general, you could probably slide by. But engaging with people and getting through all this chaos is what's going on right now. It's going to have a major impact, and it's forever. You can't erase that. And even if you were able to contact Google, which you can do this and say, okay, delete this, delete that. Google actually has all these contractors that store information and sell transcripts. You can get transcripts, conversations, like all this stuff is, it's permanent. It's a permanent record. So, buyer beware. And like a perfect example, like I mentioned in the chat, was Jay Wilson. How many careers he's lost. But, in his mind, YouTube is easy money.
Mm-hmm.
And so his mind has told him that it's worth it. This is easy money. All I gotta do is get on here and talk crap. There's a B sector content creator. Won't mention her name, but she was talking about her first big YouTube check. This was before the pandemic, was $7,000. And she's like, holy cow. YouTube just paid me $7,000 for getting on here and cursing people out. I'm all in.
Mm.
But you gotta these days you gotta weigh, weigh the value.
Yep. I agree.
Yeah, that's where.
It's sad. It's sad. Like I said, I feel that Jay Wilson can still be as whatever. Without all that, I don't know what made him go to the hole and to the B, and I don't know. There was just all of a sudden that he felt that maybe somebody gassed him up. Maybe somebody did gas him. Oh, we like to see you curse more. I don't know. Oh,
Yeah, I mean, fame. Fame is a very addictive drug. Clout. You could replace the word fame for clout. It's addictive, right? This whole YouTube thing is addictive when you start getting attention. When you press that button, that magical entrance into the matrix, you press that button, and you're now in this world where you are popular, you're famous. You have clout, your power. It's addictive, and it's hard to let go. I think this is part of the reason. Some of what you see when they talk about the B sector is dead and people are pulling away. They're starting to weigh the consequences.
mhm.
Look what's happened since I've been doing this. But what I will say is that the early, and I've said this a million times in your platform before, but I think that recently you have all these B sector OGs coming out and doing content and stuff. I talked about the fact that a lot of the originals in the B sector have a genuine interest in entertaining. Right? They were involved in the entertainment business. This is something they were actually making money from before. These are genuine people that enjoy entertaining. That just got caught up in the drama. But for the new people coming on deck, there's a huge difference between people who have a legitimate love for entertaining and new people who are coming on just to clout chase and make some money. They're looking at the money. They're not looking at I love entertaining. This is fun to me. They're looking at the dollar value. Some of the new people that have come on deck are talented. I actually, this guy Shakim, he's a genuine talent. He's old school B sector, even though he's new to the B sector.
Mhm.
He's I've looked at his
Yeah.
videos. I've seen him.
Excuse me, Urban. After you told me how they stole my formula, I went over there and I said, "This motherfucker done took my whole damn DNA." I was like, "Damn." I was like, "That's what Urban's talking about."
Yeah, yeah, I did see that. Yeah, I did see
Yeah,
that.
I,
And
I,
that's what happens when
uh,
you're a success, right? It's like, let's just say you own the cookie company and you're making these, Keebler cookies and you're making a lot of money. Another brand comes along, it copies your packaging, your image, and they
mhm.
call it, I don't know, Rutherford's cookies instead of Keebler's cookies, and they're competing with you. But people will look at what you've done and what your blueprint was. So when people came over here, they're like I was saying to you back when I mentioned that was, okay, where does Lemon get all this clout from? Where's he get all this? Where did he get this? Thing that he seems to have? And they say, okay, well, this is Sir King. So obviously they're going to go back and research, the King of Late Night, YouTube, Arsenio Hall, you know.
The good
So
old
that,
days, right?
oh, okay. Well, let me steal some of that.
So he didn't stole, he robbed.
Yeah, and
But
that's always the
anyway,
danger on
uh,
social media. People copying your format. On one hand, you can look at it as people say that when people emulate you, that is a pat on the back. That they're saying
mhm.
you're successful. I admire what you were doing. There's a fine line between that and somebody just jacking everything you got and trying to ride your wave.
He done stole clips since 3 years old, or 4 years old. He got clip. Well, I'm gonna play one right now. I said, no, this Negro didn't. Like this one right here. Hold on. This one right here. He play. I think he plays a longer version of it,
Uh huh.
but still, this one right here.
Lying. Why you always lying?
I
All right.
was like, and then he stole this one too. I was like, yo.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, when new people come in, they're definitely going to study the OGs. You know, the ones who are really trying to get to a bag. They're going to study, you know, the OGs and see where they got their sauce from, see what they can glean from them, and you know, you definitely fall in that category. So, uh, you know, and I talked about the people that I knew were going to start migrating to the beef center, and that's all here. I can go back to the very beginning and kind of talk about all the people that came in. So I remember, do you remember Jay Speaks?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You remember someone named Ma Diva?
No.
Okay, she was part of the whole Jay Speaks thing. When Jay Speaks popped up, Ma Diva popped up. Do you remember Vegas Girl?
Oh hell yeah. She's
Yeah.
still running around as Betty Boop, whatever that person is.
Who else are some new characters that came along? Uh, there was a guy from the black sector. The number in the black sector, they called him Nightcrawler.
Mm-hmm.
He was a regular on your platform for a while there. Then there
What's
was
it?
Clyde, and all these people, start integrating themselves. But I talked about this before they came, and I said, you guys got to put some gates up and police yourselves. But I want to ask you this. So the first person to hold a town hall was who? Because that's my introduction to you was the town hall.
I think it was me, but I'm not sure. I don't know. I mean, maybe maybe not named it that. I don't know. I mean, I remember doing that whole situation because some adults were talking to kids that shouldn't have been doing that.
Yeah,
Um,
that was the title of your broadcast was town
yeah,
hall.
yeah, it was.
And that's why I clicked on it because I was just watching something very similar. So, I categorize the beef sector as before pandemic and after pandemic. So before pandemic, you're talking about a family, a dysfunctional family, but a family.
Right.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
After the pandemic, it's a whole different ball.
Yeah, but I thought people got lazy and they didn't want to naturally grow and evolve. So they said, "Oh, let me go grab these people over here." Now I'm telling you, to this day, Lemon was mingling in other areas. That's how he's able to bring all these people over that we ain't never seen in our life, right? Pizarro to an extent, Tracy to an extent, but it's just like rather than grow yourself, they want to bring all these, and they play by different rules. And when those rules are enacted, they're not ready for them. So, what's up, Diva D? How you doing? Good to see you. So, yeah, it's just interesting.
Yeah, there's different motivations going on there. Like I was saying that, when you look at early beef sector, these are people that had a legitimate interest in entertaining people. They actually made money doing that prior to, coming into the quote unquote beef sector. And I talked about all Skinny Love and Nicole Tyler and
Mm.
Heidi Flyucci, James Caldwell. These are all people that have, documented, legitimate, public careers in entertainment, right?
So, let me
Um,
ask you, what do you feel about his upcoming cruise?
it's a great idea. It's a fantastic idea. I recommended something like this. I don't know how many times on your platform that there should be some type of yearly beef sector celebration. You take it on. Look at the people that have gone beyond. Right. One of the first things Tasha K did was she went on the road. There's a road show. Madison had created a road show. If you're going to claim a title as an OG in the beef sector and you created this anomalous thing, what do you have to stand on? What do you have to show for that? If you do a yearly show, I'd like to see what, I mentioned this before in your platform, but what's called a beef sector review. This is an on the road show. Duchess Kelly Love would make a great host, a great MC. Duchess Kelly Love on stage, right? You have all the beef sector OGs come out and tell stories about the beef sector and crack jokes and, reminisce. And so if you look from channel to channel and look at their followers and the subscribers and the views, these people are going to come out the same way they're going to come out to Caldwell's cruise. These people are going to come out to support you. And this is how could possibly make links beyond. Like I saw did you ever see the episode on Jay Wilson's channel where Tasha K dropped in? Did you ever see that?
I can't recall per se. I
Yeah,
think so.
a couple of
Maybe.
years ago. So she dropped in on his channel and she said, and I spoke about this before she even dropped in on Jay Wilson's channel. I talked about the fact that she was gonna. This is because after the pandemic. I popped up on your channel during the Tasha K situation when she lost the lawsuit with Cardi B. It was my first time coming back after the pandemic. I talked about the fact that I felt that she was going to go into the direction of independent media, establish her own media channel. Da 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 da. She dropped in on Jay Wilson's channel and she said, "Look, I'm starting an independent Black network. I'm going to do movies. Right, I'm looking for Black content creators. Like, I want you to send the word out to the peace sector. Like, hit me up, and I'm going to put you guys on." To the best of my knowledge, nobody took her up on that. But that's if you look at her app, she's producing movies. She's been on the road. Like, she's done all that. So, in saying that, what I'm saying is you want to create some kind of legacy for all the time that you spent on the B sector, or what have you done with all those years? So I think the cruise is an excellent idea. He's one of the people that has a senior level position where he can get everybody together. A lot of people are going to come on board. And I do think some type of award show or review show, comedy show, however you want to spin it, would be great. He's the person that could really pull the sector together and put something together like that. Pulling people on stage and pulling people on a cruise ship or whatever, and kind of establish a legacy. And I think that at his age, this is probably what he's thinking is, I've been
Right.
doing this for a long time. What's my legacy going to be moving forward? And I think this is the perfect position. I can already tell you this is going to be a huge success. A lot of people are going to be there. It's an excellent decision. And it could cement, a legacy for the peace sector, and it could lead to other things.
Yeah, we shall see. We shall see. It's interesting.
You gonna be there?
I'm debating. I'm speaking with my security forces now, so we're trying to plan something.
Yeah, you could actually be there anonymous and kind of blend in, and somebody might drop the camera on you, and kind of wink in the camera. Nobody knows who you are.
I'll have my helicopter on standby.
So I think it's good that even though I talked about all these things, years ago, nobody knows me. Obviously nobody's listened to anything that I say, but I think I see that growth there with James as far as trying to cement some type of legacy with the B sector, and I think it's a good move. And it should continue. It should be an annual thing, and I think they should look at doing other things annual with the B sector as a collective. And if somebody doesn't trademark that name, you're going to lose some. You're going to lose some value there. So somebody needs to trademark that name.
Yeah, that's true. We'll see who do it. So we'll see how that turns out. We'll see.
I sent you a couple of links. I guess you didn't get them. I was talking about. Did you see them? The links?
I don't think so.
Okay.
How recently?
Yeah, a couple days. In the past couple days.
No, I ain't get it.
Mark Zuckerberg had a conversation about that moving forward in the future. Right. So you're talking to me right now as who you are. Right. In actuality, Sir King, Mark Zuckerberg is saying is that the future, you're going to have multiple versions of you that are virtual. So you have the Sir King that's the actual Sir King that's doing the YouTube show. You have the Sir King that's a virtual Sir King that's doing something completely different. Another version of Sir King doing something completely different, and multiple virtual personages of yourself. And he said that's where the future is headed, and that's one of the things. That's one of his, that's one of his mission statements. Is he wants us to exist, or where you can create a virtual version of yourself that you can program to do anything, to speak for yourself. What do you think about that?
I think that Mark Zuckerberg better be worried about the Judgment Day. That's all I'm saying. I don't know. I just feel he's a government puppet. You know, I really do. They go to him to enact all this stuff they want to put in place on the
So you don't agree that would be? Do you think that would be useful to have a virtual version of yourself, where you could say, let's say you're sitting in your living room right now, and you say, "Hey, virtual SK, send out this email, send out that to do a YouTube show for me because I'm busy. Make some investment decisions for me, do a
It's-
couple lives for me."
I don't like that because all that starts messing with your real life. Right? Oops, I didn't mean to do that. No, that's the wrong SK. Oh my God. No, no, that's not what I meant. You know, work SK gets mixed up with Casanova SK. No, no. I thought you logged out of one profile and it did. Oh, no, that's too risky. I don't see that going well.
Yeah, well, yeah. Once we accept that, then that becomes part of our
Well, we
society.
kind of got that now with the whole different Google accounts, right? you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
you know,
Everything's an elevation, right? Everything's an elevation. What he's saying is that it would be useful to what he said in the article was his exact words: "With everyone will have multiple virtual people that are replicas of themselves, like clones, online clones of themselves that they'll
right.
have out there doing because you only have so many hours in a day,
So virtual multi-personality disorder.
right? You only have so many hours in a day. So while you're on your way to work, driving in traffic in the morning, you can say, "Hey, virtual SK, do a YouTube live for me," and a person will pop up on your live. It looks like you, it talks like you, has your voice, laughs like you. Comes in the chat,
I think of all of them, who's the other one? Mark Zuckerberg and Elon are going to have major regrets. I feel that on how this AI thing plays out. I really do. More so, Elon. I think Mark Zuckerberg has regrets on how he knows he's kind of decimated society.
Mhm.
I don't know. I think he deals with that, but they have some way of getting therapy to deal with that. But after he of all knows how he has influenced the family dynamic, right? We're not close as we used to be, you
Yeah.
as a society. Um,
Well, yeah, a lot of men are moving towards the reality, and I think that what happens, I think, especially in our community, in the African American community, is it may take longer for things to sink into us about the reality of what's really going on. But last time I was on your platform, I talked about the taxis are out there now, the driverless taxis and
mhm,
semi trucks. I think that was what
mhm.
you sent to you. We got these semi trucks that are replacing the semi truck drivers, and you got the waitresses that are robot.
So, okay, Urban. So, what are we going to do?
Well,
What
that
as humans we're going to do?
well, do you really need? If I'm a billionaire, do I really need you? What do I need you for when I can create a virtual you?
So
Because my
you
goal is to make money. And so what they're doing is they're
what?
taking people's when they're creating these virtual yous. I really wish you could have saw these links because they're real integral to what I'm talking
Well,
about.
make sure you send it to me again because I definitely did not get it. Let me see.
Well, I dropped it on your channel, but I guess maybe you have your channel set up so you can't put links on there. But
But but it says, what is it for the man to lose his soul and but gain the world?
all right,
Right?
Pastor King,
I'm
Pastor
just
King,
saying. I'm just taking after
Pastor
you,
King.
Christian nobleman. I'm just taking after you. Okay, Christian nobleman. I'm trying to be noble and a Christian and a man at the same time. I'm trying to take out you. So what is that? You're sitting around with all these virtual beings. You got all this money, but you lost your soul only to gain the world.
That is where our society. This is the technological renaissance. We're living in this, right? What you're
Yeah,
saying, what you said right now.
that's it.
This isn't a fantasy. This is reality. This is where we are living. There are robots, riding up and down the street delivering people's food. There's cars that they're picking people up with nobody in there. Think about the movie Total Recall.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, movie, but this is a reality. So moving forward, technologists, billionaires are only concerned about making a profit. I do think that the living wage is probably going to become a real thing. AI surgeons are already here. That's true. AI surgeons are already here, and the currency isn't going to be worth anything. Yeah, yeah, in the field of in the medical field. Yeah, they're using AI technology there because they're saying to be more precise than a surgeon. But the thing about humanity versus artificial humanity is, we make decisions based on consciousness, and that's something they're still trying to develop is consciousness.
Why? Why
Um,
are you trying to develop something that has consciousness?
right. So an AI surgeon, an AI robot might say, well, we got to cut all the arms and legs off in order to stop this disease. Whereas a conscious doctor might say, well, wait a minute, let's hold off. I don't want to go that far just yet. Let's run a few more tests. When you're talking about, advanced intelligence, they're getting right to the point, like Spock on Star Trek, who
Mm.
went, directly to exactly what is necessary at this instant, which would be okay, get rid of the arms and legs and, you know, on to the
Oh,
next.
I
On to
think
the
I
next
think
one.
this I think there's some alien stuff going on. Aliens just came, gave us this technology, convinced us to use it, and then go convince us to use it to lead to our own downfall so they can take over the planet. That's what I feel. This is just too much. This is just too much.
So you
We
gotta
just-
moving forward, you have to, right, the best career options would be learning how to repair these long range semi trucks that are delivering, for these various companies, learning how to repair these Ubers that are, delivering food and these robots. So learning the technology of how to repair these things, that's going to secure a career for you for sure. So you're gonna have this advanced technology. You're gonna have people that can repair the advanced technology. But one of the videos I sent you showed an AI robot repairing itself.
exactly. A robot repairing another robot. All you gotta do is feed it the schematics of what it's fixing, and it'll fix it.
Mhm.
They said
So
that I saw something that they were sitting up there saying that power companies are using robots to deal with power lines because one, they can't get shocked and stuff like that.
and some of this is going to be just like the movie Terminator, where people are going to start taking, like they were saying, for example, I was looking at a video about this rollout in Atlanta of these robots that are
Mm,
delivering food. So no longer a trial, but this is live. You can download the app, right? And sitting at your office on this particular street in Atlanta, you can say, okay, I want some food from Fago de Chao that's on this street. I'm going to order this, and the robot comes up to your business and delivers it. People have been kicking these things over,
exactly.
picking them up, putting them in the pickup truck bed, driving off with them.
Yeah,
So
that- that's what
they're
I'm
definitely,
saying. So they have not anticipated the human revolt. Like,
yeah, but this is where that consciousness comes in, where you have these movies that talk about this consciousness of like the Matrix and iRobot, or this war, the war against the machines. This is definitely going to be part of our future. The war against the machine. They don't have any choice but to implement some type of living wage that you just get just because you're alive.
yeah.
Very similar to welfare, a national
So,
welfare.
so let's take it one step further. So if you're found guilty of, let's say, robot anarchy, then they will cut living wage, and that's how you keep the people in check. So,
Yeah, we're moving into we're living we're living in this right now. This is the most significant historical event and our societal history. Like we're living in this.
but the crazy part about it is that it doesn't have to be. That's the thing. This is totally optional. Totally optional.
Yep, it's a greed, corporate greed, man. It's corporate greed. This is capitalism.
It's insane. Totally optional. Not medically necessary. Not critical to the survival of the universe or the world or Earth. It's totally optional.
So what's going to have to happen is we're going to have legislation.
Hmm.
Legislation often falls way behind technology. Like by the time Congress found out what Google was doing and Facebook was doing, start
Hmm.
selling people's information and targeting people and getting all this personal information. By the time they figured it out, it was almost 10 years later. Facebook was already $1 billion company, and now they're saying, "Whoa, wait a minute! You can't sell all this stuff, and you can't do this, and you can't do that." It's too late. They're a multi-billion-dollar company. They've got people, you know, financially, they've been financially invested in every level of government. So the government is behind, but it's going to have to catch up to technology. That's the only way things are going to work. Is government's going to have to catch up, but oftentimes government is behind. The onus is on ourselves. The onus is on ourselves, and thought leaders, people like yourself, people like me, people that are putting the word out is that hey, this is coming, right? Like I talked about the whole AI thing. I said YouTube doesn't have any choice. We're gonna have to change this AI policy. People that are thought leaders that say, hey, here's what's coming in the future. You got to make some decisions in advance, for survival. There was just another recent. Go ahead, Sukin.
No, I'm just thinking it's just so overwhelming. It really is because it's like, yo, this is crazy. It's
Yeah,
no.
it's a reality. The best thing to do is it's try to prepare people for it mentally and emotionally, and let them know, hey, you're gonna have to react to this. You got to put something in place so you don't get swept away. I remember last time I was on your platform, I talked about surviving a mass shooting. We've had these recent mass shootings.
Hmm.
These are very important things that people need to pay attention when you're out and about in public, or you park your vehicle. You should park your vehicle to make a quick getaway. But people don't think like that. Right? I'm
Yeah.
a military guy, so I it's built into me. But when you go to Walmart, you don't park your car so that you can make a quick getaway. You're just looking for the most convenient parking spot.
Yeah.
But you should park your car so you can jump in and drive out. So that means the front end facing out. You should
Hmm.
park a place you can get to your vehicle as quickly as possible. When you're in crowds, I mentioned to you that you should walk closest to the wall, closest
Hmm.
to the obstruction that can protect you. And be wary about large public events. Do you really need to be going to these large public events? And you know, we got to think of moving forward. There's a lot to think about. When you wake up in the morning and you're getting ready for work, there's a lot to think about before you open up that front door and you step outside. Write reminder note. I like to put notes on my window in the bathroom. I'll put a sticky note up there to remind me about certain things. But write little reminders to yourself on in the bathroom, which is one of the first things you see in the morning. If you have a closet, write notes in there on the door before you walk outside your house. The last thing you're going to see is your front door. Put a note on there to remind you of certain things. But those are the people that are going to be faring the best.
Like what?
in
Like what notes you should
Well, a
put?
perfect example would be things like, pay attention to where you park. If you getting let's say you're getting ready to go to the store, you and your wife and kids are jumping in the car,
Hmm.
getting ready to go to the store. There's a note on your front door, on your refrigerator, or wherever it says, pay attention to. Just a reminder, pay attention to where you park today,
Mm.
so that when you leave the house, you're already thinking, okay, we're getting ready to go to Walmart. Let me just park so that me and the wife and kids can safely get the heck up out of here in case some weirdo comes through.
Hmm.
And the rates of these types of violent incidents, these mass incidents, they're not going down. We haven't resolved this. They're going up.
Well, I think it's going to get worse. I mean, you listen, Urban, if you take away a man's pride, which mostly comes in the form of his job, and then say he's being replaced by inanimate objects that has no family, no heart, no beat, no emotions.
Mm-hmm.
That is, can be a emotionally burdensome to that can be very because it's no way for that man to outwork that robot.
Well,
You know?
yeah, I remember I sent you the link about all the layoffs that Google had.
Oh yeah,
Over 10,000 people.
yeah. It's insane.
Right. And then specifically because of what they said was we're replacing this with automated, being replaced with automated technology. So there's some element there of maybe depression or, you know,
I just wish they would follow up with those people. Like, you know what I mean? Like you hear 10,000 laid off, but you
yeah.
never really get to. I'm sure you can find them, but you never really get to hear from those 10,000 people, like how they're feeling. That's 10,000 people.
Yeah, a
Yo,
lot of us,
no, go ahead.
that's a good point. That's a good point. And so what you noticed during the whole Doge thing is that we're going out and interviewing these people, that were losing jobs, like, for example, veterans that were terminated, people that voted for Trump. In general, as a federal employee, it used to be that you just could not be fired, right? You
Yeah.
can do whatever you want to do. You can be brought up on murder charges until you're convicted. Your salary's still coming in. Trump's changed a lot of that now. You're trying to get rid of the unions and stuff. Um, things are changing, man. You got to stay current as to what's going on. And this is because technology, the thing about technology, it's fast paced. And you can see some of the impact right now. Everyone listening to my voice right now, think about how your spelling has gotten worse because
Mhm.
you're using spell check.
Mhm.
That's a perfect example of how, you know, you get you regress. You regress when you're not thinking about how to spell. There's
Mhm.
a regression that's going on as technology begins to build up. So think about these things, as you're moving forward. Think about what, like I was saying, you're either figuring out how to fix the technology or figuring out how to build the technology. But, these are, careers moving forward. You talk to your children about these things. I'm a strong advocate of homeschooling. I'm a homeschool child. Um, but we've got to school ourselves. You cannot depend on the government. And this is what
Um,
happens in our society, right? You depend on what so you watch, you know, you sit down and you watch the media. You're dependent upon what the media says. You're dependent upon, society. And we've got to get away from, in the early history, colonial history of America, a man depended upon himself, right? You made an axe, you slung that axe over your shoulder, you walked out into the woods, you cut down a bunch of trees, you built a log cabin, you grew food, you knew about the land, you knew about nature, you knew how to grow food, you grew food, and you took care of your family. Just go outside in the street right now and grab a random guy and say, hey, there's an axe, go into the woods and take care of your wife and family. They'll be dead in 3 days. That's far away. That's how much dependent upon we are, on technology and the information that's fed to us. But you got to search out how to grow food. Search out how to grow food in your house. Search out how to, something that is sustainable. Don't wait until 5 years from now and you're like, man, I lost my job. I really don't know what to do here. I'm stuck. The cost of food. But what Trump's doing with this whole tariff thing for the next 4 years, you're in trouble.
whoop.
If you haven't figured out how to navigate this whole tariff thing, if you haven't figured it out by now, everybody listening to me, if you haven't figured out by now how to navigate this, how to penny pinch, how to make money, coupon cut, whatever you got to do, roll up to the dollar store in a pickup truck and run in there If you ever figure out what to do, you're in trouble. We got to think ahead, man, because technology moves so fast. AI moves so fast. It thinks so much faster than what we think. That's the danger. Is that
Mm-hmm.
like what I was telling you about YouTube months ago, before YouTube implemented this new AI technology? Is I can just use AI to build a channel and not even really be involved in it, right? But they have a certain amount of allocated to what they're going to pay content creators. When that
Mm-hmm.
rises exponentially, because you got AI that's building channels every 4 seconds, I knew that they were going to have to say, whoa, 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 wait a minute. We're not paying for all that.
Yeah, I
um,
agree. I agree.
Forward thinking, forward thinking, forward thinking. You've got to think about where we are today in society. You've got to be thinking about your future, man. So pray, seek wisdom from God, and be forward thinking. You got to be. If you're, I think, here in the B sector, a lot of people are wrapped up on only what's going on in the B sector.
Mm-hmm.
If you notice, general news gets 2, 3 views in the B sector. And people are so focused on the chaos and the drama that instant gratification, right? The instant gratification that what they call FOMO, fear of missing out, is so absorbed into what's happening here. Once you hit that magical button and you're in the virtual B sector world, and what you've seen is look at the results. Look at the content creators that have stepped away. The people talk about the B sector is dead. The major content creators that have stepped away because it finally hit them like a brick. And God dang, where have I been for the last 6 years? I can't even account for what I've done and where I've been for the last 6 years. But you know that you're behind. You know that you're in trouble. You know that now my information's out there, and this is why I'm being rejected for these jobs.
That's crazy.
Yeah, a lot to think about. A lot.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and relationships too amongst for men. It's easy for us to we're not emotional as women. So what happens with that is when you have these AI friends and AI girlfriends and AI robots that you can bring home as a wife and all this stuff, it's easy for a man to navigate towards that and just cut natural women off. That's another danger of our society is people are getting colder and getting more distant. I'd rather just you get to the point where you'd rather just go online and chat with people, and you have that here in the B sector. Some people are on here 24 hours a day. They have friends on here. They talk to them, and this is the world that they exist in. And this is a microcosm of what happens on a much larger scale of where society is moving. Is you know human interaction is replaced by artificial interaction.
Oh yeah, for sure. I can see that. If they don't want to deal with the nagging or whatever, or the
Yeah,
attitude,
yeah,
that's definitely happen.
and that's an emerging. If you're looking at investing, the whole AI girlfriend thing, what they call mimicry, things that mimic being human. This is a big area of where our technology is moving.
Mm.
Um, and so what happens with that distance though is it makes people colder. Right? So you get to a point where we're so distant from one another. Part of being human is loving and emotion. That's something that that technology can only mimic, but it puts this huge gap, this huge distance in what it means to be human. You feel me?
I feel you, big, but I don't think they're going to be able to replicate that. that comes from above.
It's interesting because I play around a lot with artificial intelligence to kind of test it out. Just to give you an example, so again, if you go on ChatGPT, the non-paid version,
Mhm.
and you type in switch to role play mode, and that's the first thing you type in, switch to role play mode. And then you type in, you are now my wife,
Mm.
my wife, and then start asking questions related to that. And you say, do you love me? And ChatGPT says, oh, I love you so much. I'm so in love with you.
Mhm.
you know, do your see we're working off of our brains,
Yeah.
and like as a child is growing, your brain is what's determining. Your brain is what determines what's real. So when you put on a virtual reality headset, your brain is determining what's real. Urban, did you see that now? How they have people actually? Yeah, good point, Philly T. Yes, you guys go on YouTube and type in "man marries sex doll." This is happening. Like this isn't fluff. People are look at look at the statistics now of men, young boys, from 9 to 13 are having these relationships with AI bots.
Well, yeah, I heard. Yeah.
So when the future comes forward, is what do I need a girlfriend for? I got my AI girl,
Mhm.
right? It don't cost me it might cost me a little membership fee.
And
She's
then
gonna
have them purchase the girl, the doll, and have her the app be an extension of how extension of her. You know what I mean?
exactly. And another form of technology that they're working on in addition to AI is holographic, what they call augmented reality. So the way augmented reality works in Sir King is you walk into your house, and the same way you can talk to Siri or whatever, you walk into your house in augmented reality, your wife, your virtual wife, greets you at the door. Hey, Sir King, what's going on? Hey, well, look, I had a long day. I'm trying to get busy.
Mhm.
Okay, honey, I love you. Let's whatever you want. you know, this is where technology is headed. It's easier to be, you know,
So pretty
attached.
much what you're saying is that we're going to have a skyrocket in divorce rates, right?
Yeah, yeah. The distance in humanity is becoming, and so this is a direct reflection of crime.
Mm.
The distance between the human interaction. When you become cold and callous, you don't. What do you need to love for? I got an AI girlfriend. Why do I need to care about anybody? When I walk in the house, Shalandria, Shakisha meets me at the door. My virtual girlfriend. I don't need to interact with real women. Uh, and so what happens is the effect of all of this is what I'm saying is we become colder as people. We start losing our emotions, start losing our affection. And so crime starts to grow because of that. And you got this whole like escape from New York type scenario, or the Thunderdome type thing. The Crow. I like that movie, The Crow. You get these types of scenarios where society is collapsing while technology is rising.
Yeah, that's what it seems like. People are very selfish these day and age.
I'm gonna get me a couple AIY so King to add to the stable.
Mm. Okay. Now
Jump on my
when they link up and speak in their AI code, come out your ass. Don't say nothing now. When they find out you've been using them to cheat on each other.
talk. I said that to my wife, and she was like, "Boy," I said, "Yeah, if I could have 10 more you,
Oh, no.
you just get 10 more AI versions of you, I'm good." And she was like, "Boy."
So we ready to unplug all of them.
So it's a lot to think about. But for those of you that have young children, look at educating your children outside of don't depend on the government. We can no longer depend. So Trump is all, getting rid of these anchors like social services and welfare and food stamps. Like, we got to figure out a way to survive, not to be
Mhm.
government. You got to stay forward thinking. Otherwise, you're going to get caught up in the collapse. Um, so be forward thinking. Be forward thinking. You're raising young children. Teach your children beyond what they're learning in school. In school, unless you're in an Ivy League school, they're not even going to mention to you. Let's see. I guess a lot of men will be coming home to their Stepford wife. Yeah, there's a lot of dynamics there because men are very sexual, and they'll be just fine with that sexual interaction without the real woman interaction. That's the dynamics that we're moving into. But educate your children beyond what they're learning in school. Your children aren't learning anything in school. Public school, they're not learning survival skills. This is why so many people are struggling in our community. Educate your children outside of school. I advocate for private schools. You can get it paid for. Send your children to a Christian school. You can get grants for this stuff. If you look at these mass shootings in schools, Christian schools and Catholic schools are on the very bottom of almost not even having these type of incidents even happen. If you can't homeschool, look at Catholic schools, look at private Christian schools. You can get grants for these kinds of things, but we're raising the next generation.
Mhm. Yeah.
For people career-wise who are looking for different careers, there are federal programs. Trump's eliminating a lot of this stuff. This is why you got to whenever you see an opportunity, you got to jump on it. Trump's eliminating a lot of the stuff, but there's still programs that exist that will teach you to be a program manager, a project manager. There's still programs that I'm talking about free from the Department of Labor that will teach you how to do cybersecurity. It's free, 100, no cost to you at all. So while these things exist, I don't care what your age is. While these
Mhm.
exist, take advantage. Find out what these programs are. There's apprenticeship programs to Department of Labor that will teach you in cybersecurity.
So which department so that people can hear? You said the
Department,
seven.
I'm talking about the Department of Labor. Department of Labor. So every state has a Department of Labor. So in other words, in hood language, that's Department of Unemployment. But it's Department of Labor. They have what they call one-stop shops.
Right.
If you go in there and ask them, what do you have available for the employment opportunities? They've got free training to become a project manager, free training to go into cybersecurity, internships and technology. Like all this stuff is available. And the beauty of that is that if you're aware of it, so no one's going to, the Department of Labor is not going to come knock on your door and say, hey, if you want to be in cybersecurity, we have this program available. You got to go out there and search it out. So I'm telling you now that these are available. Go on to the Department of Labor website, type in cybersecurity training. It's 100% free. They pay for it.
Y'all heard it now.
But now
Jay
that's
Wilson.
dependent on income. That's dependent on income. You got to be unemployed, single mother, things like that. In between jobs, things like that. But there's some stipulations in there. But take advantage of these things, especially when it comes to any type of free technology training.
Well, we appreciate that, Urban. We appreciate the gems you share with us. While they're over there talking about teleport and new pics and the cool la la and doodle towels, and we're trying to share some real stuff with real people to help them in their real life. So we appreciate that.
Yeah, that's the beauty. That's the beauty of your platform. And that's what attracted me, to your platform. You're actually, that's why sometimes I call you Pastor King, because you have a congregation, Avatar Nation, the nation. That's your congregation. And you don't have to. You don't have to. You can talk about whatever you want to talk about. You can talk. You know what I mean? It's your
Right.
platform. You can talk about whatever's going on in the streets. And leave it at that and bounce off. But I think that what's happened when I refer to you as pastor sometimes is because you've taken the onus or responsibility of saying, let me put something out to feed the flock. Let me take some responsibility for my visibility, for having a platform. Because you don't have to do that.
No, no. You know what's interesting, Urban? So back in Avatar Nation, right? The numbers will start off. So I guess they send out the bird signal. I don't know, but my live will start off with a certain number, right? And that's when I talk about the news, sports, politics, technology, whatever, right? So it'll start off 80, right? Then as soon as I say I switch it to the news that you cannot use, boom, the numbers will go up. I was just curious how that would work. Like how the people sending messages. Okay, now he's talking about the mess. It had to work that way. It was just fascinating to me. So every time.
Yeah,
So
there's definitely a network there. There people are communicating, sending out text messages,
yeah.
and there's a net there. The base sector has its own network. It has its own. This is what it's attractive to outsiders is. This is an audience that's already there that are natural givers. A lot of the audience in the base sector, you have retirees and you have professionals. That get government salaries, government pensions. And so as you look throughout YouTube, where do you find a similar audience of retirees, of people that are, collecting some type of government salary? Like if you look at the age demographics, there's nothing remotely similar to the audience of the B sector. And so that's the attraction. That's for the outsiders. That's the attraction. Otherwise, why come over here for
Right.
what? So you have a built-in audience.
hmm
It's up to you what to do with that built-in audience. What are you going to do with that built-in audience? And you could have done anything you wanted to do. So then,
Oh yeah, for sure.
as a man, and this is what is for a man, the most important thing that you can do is the decisions that you make that contribute to what you're going to be known for. What whole are you going to make? What impact are you going to make on society? And as we age, as we get older, you start thinking about, well, what am I going to be known for?
hmm
What do I want to be a representation of myself? And you chose from the very beginning. From the very beginning, you chose to educate your followers.
Yeah, because what they say we the last to know. We're the last to know anything. So yeah,
And you did that. You did that from the very beginning, but that's a testament to to how you were raised. Because you're not in a sector where that's popular. It's a testament to how you were raised and your integrity as a man. What do you stand for as a man? When you talk to a man, I deal with military men that fall under my command. And one of the things I talk to these men about is, what are you about? What do you stand for? What are you doing with your life?
hmm
Or I go beyond what the military deems as important and talk to them about your legacy as a man. What are you doing for your family? What do you represent? When I look at you, when I talk to you, what am I getting from you? When you leave, what's left?
No, I agree. I
Those are
agree,
decisions that you have to make.
and that's why some people have left the beach because that legacy was clashing with maybe what they wanted. You know.
Hmm. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. All right, Sir King, I'm not going to tie you up anymore, brother. It's always a pleasure to drop in and talk to the nation.
Likewise. But okay, so Urban, last thing, how soon you think he's gonna when do you think he's gonna fire Jerome? That's not
Six,
funny, but so
anytime between, I will give it 60 days. between
Okay.
now and the next 2 months. It's going to happen between now and the next 2 months. It can happen any day now. I think it's going to be sooner.
Okay.
Than 60 days.
So let me rephrase the question. Do you think he's going to get fired before the next FOMC meeting, which is in September? Or do you think it's going to happen at that meeting? He's going to be forced to step down. Or do you think he's going to announce his resignation at that meeting? Those 3 questions in one. But,
Good question. Good questions. Yeah. Excellent questions. I think.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I think. See, Jerome's been very stubborn, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he will let Trump put him in a headlock to the point where he will be forced to resign. But see, remember that girl? It was not this girl. It was this woman. Sorry, I didn't call her girl. It was this woman who came out and said, "I heard Trump getting ready to fire Jerome." It was a couple of weeks back,
Mm-hmm.
and then nothing came of that. He was trying to find ways. So I said, do you think that he gonna make her resign at that meeting, and it's just gonna come off as a resignation, so as not to
He would
hurt?
prefer.
Yeah.
He would. So what's happening is he's virtue signaling this, right?
Mhm.
He's openly talked about to the media. So if I was president and they asked me about firing, you know, Jerome, I would say, next question. I'm not gonna talk about
Right.
that. He said, I don't know. I have the authority to. He said things like, "I've had the authority to do that.
Yeah.
You can do it. It's not looking too good." So he's virtual signaling this already.
Mhm.
And so the signs are there. And what I'm saying is that the reason why he's signaling this is because he's saying, "Hey, resign. Hey,
Mhm.
resign. Hey, resign." He wants him to resign. Politically, it will be best for him because it doesn't look like he's bullying people. And this
Mhm.
position has a historical has a historical history
Mhm.
of being independent
Mhm.
of the office of the president. So, looking at his legacy, he doesn't want to be looked at someone force. He just fired this guy, right? He would prefer that he resign, and so he's putting the pressure on him to resign. The problem is that the guy's stubborn as heck and hasn't resigned, so he's forcing Trump's hand, and the firing of the commissioner of the Bureau of Labor Statistics is a huge red flag to Jerome. That, hey, bro, you need to let it go.
Uh,
Resign or you're fired.
Somebody said that you are a Peter Pan killer.
That I'm a who? A what?
This person dropped down in the chat and says, Yvonne says, "Okay, you have Peter Panel Killer behaving like a whole new person when he's on your panel. So, dude, congrats." I don't think that's Peter Panel Killer. Are you Peter Panel Killer, Urban?
Come on, Sir King. You already know. You know better than that. The Yvonne, didn't you have somebody that was named Yvonne? A long-term subscriber to?
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, you don't have to ask me that, man. Come on.
No, I'm just saying that because, it sets things up for her to know that that's not you so that they can
Oh,
put
okay. I got you. I
to,
got you.
to put
I
some
mean,
blocks
I think
in.
my voice is unique for the people from Avatar Nation that know me. And the
Mhm.
person that asked that question, ask the nation. Ask them, who's Urban Critic? That's my name known, with affiliated with your platform. Who's Urban Critic? Like, so they'll tell you who I am. A long history with SK, and affiliating me with these other people who I don't even know who they are. I do know that guy's name, the panel killer guy from the Umar sector, right? I know, I've heard of his name. I've seen clips of him and stuff like that, but people know who I am. But I guess it's the people who don't know who I am don't know. But the nation can tell you who I am. Last name, that's Ron P. That's Brixton Babe. That's Philly T. All these people recognize my voice. They could recognize my voice in public. They know who I
Yeah, they're coming to your defense now.
am. I appreciate it. Thank you, Diva D. Diva D's probably one of your longest subscribers. He's right up there, right?
Yeah, she's a
Remember
big one.
in the very beginning. Yeah. So if you want to know who Urban is, nobody knows me as the Christian gentleman. That's just the name of my channel, but just ask the nation. They'll tell you. Shout out to the nation.
Every time you say that, I think of Louis Farrakhan. Okay, so yeah, so we shall see. I think they're developing a plan not to rattle the markets, but I think he sees Jerome as a major hindrance. And I don't think it's his thing is up in what is it, 2026 in June. I think that's too long to wait for him to get out of office. So
I would agree. Yeah, I would agree. It's going to happen sooner than later. Like I said, this getting rid of the commissioner of the Bureau of Labor Statistics, that's a huge sign to him. Is that hey, any day now, I'm going to cut you free. So expect it any day. Expect it within the next 30 days.
yeah, and I think Jerome would rather get fired than have his legacy be. What's that guy's name? I forgot his name. Some Fed chair that they referenced that did that they cut rates too early, um, and inflation spiraling out of control. So yeah, I forget his name.
Yeah, if he hasn't bent so far, he's not gonna. Trump's gonna have to. If he doesn't get the clue, Trump's just gonna have to cut him free.
Yeah, get the clue is the key statement. Get the clue. So
Yeah, and the market, the way Trump looks at it is, if I got my people in place and I can make the market look good, I can orchestrate puppet master things and talk to my lower pile and say, hey, yeah, I had to get rid of them, but here's what's going on. Here's why.
alrighty, Urban. Thank you so much. We're about to head up out of here. Okay, so Yvonne A says she gave $5 to you, Urban, for her mistake.
All
Thank
right, so
you.
get that money to me ASAP.
I will. I will. I won't do you like Lemon and drop you for $19.99.
It's always a pleasure, man, to drop in on you and the nation.
Likewise.
You got a very valuable audience. It's the most intelligent audience in the B sector. Yeah, and I've always admired your position of being an educator. You know,
Do what I
so,
can.
an educator and an entertainer.
Yes, it's not easy. Not easy.
All right, big dog.
All right, thank you. Take care, Urban. Let me know if you hear about Jerome. I'm just joking. All right, but thank you. Thank
All
you
right,
again. All right, take care. Bye.
ciao.
See ya. Thank you, Yvonne A, for the $5 for Urban. Maybe he buy some coffee or something. Felicity says, yes, thank you for she said Yvonne A says that's for you, sir. All right, I'll be sure to let Urban know that's for me. All right, y'all. Hopefully y'all been thoroughly entertained. That's it. We've been online for about 2 hours and 30 minutes. But with that being said, I'm out of here. Y'all take care. If y'all want to, please feel free to send a gesture $sign Sir King Crown. It'll be tremendously appreciated if y'all do. Please thumbs up the live as y'all exit the broadcast. Hopefully, like I said, y'all learned something. Like I said, tomorrow's interesting day regarding earnings. If I was you, I would check out Palantir just to know who they are. I know we talked a lot about AI. They are, from what I'm seeing, they're a big player in the whole intelligence AI movement in terms of data and so forth. So, it might be good to know who they are and stuff like that. All right. With that being said, I'm out of here. Y'all take care and be the change I want to see in the world. And one thing is just like, we're entering in an era of surveillance, right? Everything you do is going to be recorded to really create an online virtual profile of y'all. There ain't going to be really no more privacy. And if you do want your privacy, you have to go through extreme measures to try to do it, right? Cars. Did y'all know Tesla? In a Tesla, there are cameras in the Tesla, outside the Tesla, right? That stay on. that feed information back to Tesla. So we're giving up our privacy in so many different ways that y'all not even aware of, you know. But just be aware. Just be aware. Yes. Everyone stay blessed. All right. With that being said, I'm out of here. Y'all take care. And I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye, y'all.
Sir King.
Canvas.
Sir King. Sir King.
Canvas.
Sir King. Sir King.
All right. Bye, y'all. Take care. And Urban, thank you once again for coming up. Appreciate you. Bye, y'all.